The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com. And now we're going to welcome in Blackman head coach Matt Kriesky. The Blaze improved to 1-1 last night with a big 42-35 hard-fought win over Stewart's Creek. Welcome this morning, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
All right. This was a really good, fun game to watch from a fan perspective last night, and I really was impressed with how your guys played last night.
Yeah, I thought we came out a little sluggish in the first half. We did not start out how we wanted to, but when we went into halftime, I got the guys together as soon as we got in. And I really challenged them about what we've been doing, our expectations, and the season. I felt like right there the season was going to go one or two ways. Either they were going to respond how we wanted them to, how we thought they could, or they were going to lay down. But they did not. They came out the second half and did what we want to do. We were able to see some things offensively. Coach Andrew and Coach Eddings did a great job, make some adjustments. And Coach Crosby did too on defensive side of the ball. Him and Coach Holman, Coach Gregory, Coach Bank, they did a great job. We were very fortunate to make some key adjustments going into the second half.
Yeah, and I thought one of the biggest things that stood out to me was your offensive line play. Like, I feel like you got a pretty solid offensive line, and it looks like they're coming together as a group.
Man, I can't say enough about those guys. They're quiet leaders. All they do is they come to work each and every single day, do everything we ask them to do, don't say a word. They're typical linemen. You get them behind closed doors, they're goofy, they're funny, they're fun to be around, but when we get on the field, they don't say a word. They just come to work. Can't say enough about the Molina brothers, Hudson Lee, Kennedy Jackson. Chris is in there, so it's just a great group of guys we got.
Absolutely. And you have two really good running backs too. I thought they both played really well last night. Grant Gardner, 17 rushes, over 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then you had Jabari Kemp rush 14 times for about 125 yards and 2 touchdowns also.
Yeah, those guys are doing great, and this day and time, you see guys get selfish, when they're not getting carries, they're not getting ball. But those two guys encourage each other, that they really help each other out. And we also got a third guy. I didn't get him in like I should. We got Daniel Smith. So I think we got 3 solid running backs that can play any time of the game. And they all 3 of them help each other out during the entire game in practice. Again, they're another group fun to be around.
Yeah, and I thought your quarterback was steady play last night. Jonathan Hamby, 3 of 5, 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. I thought he really ran your offense the way you wanted him to, and was really calm.
Yeah, he did a lot. I thought from week 1 to week 2, he really improved and did a great job. We're not going to ask him to do a lot of things. We know what Jonathan can do, and he's come a long way from the spring until now. He's a hard worker. He comes to practice each and every day wanting to get better, and you'll see as the season goes along, he'll continue to get better. He did what we asked him to do. We want to make short, quick throws, and then we wanted to run the football, them to come up, and then we take a shot with and try to hit Jaden Guy, and that worked in the second half.
Absolutely. You talked about Jaden Guy. That's a big weapon to have, and I really think with your style of play, hitting him once or twice in the game for big yardage like that, that's going to be a huge weapon as you go forward.
Yeah, and we knew, we try to get Jaden the ball a couple times each half. He's also a weapon on kickoff return. He's got quite a bit of yards. Ran one back, got called back last week. He's the guy that you get him the ball in space. He possibly could break it for 80 yards and for a touchdown. He's a big playmaker. He's getting to be the type of receiver that we want him to be. You see his speed, but also we want him to be more consistent blocking and just honing in on his fundamentals and technique, route running. And you see that from last year to this year. He's made great strides and great improvement, and we'll hopefully continue to see that as it goes along. But as teams start keying on him, we've got other receivers. We've got Brylan O'Dore, John Dragoo, and Daniel Smith also plays some receiver. We got Kari Dixon. We got guys that can catch the ball and go the distance too. So whenever teams start focusing on Jaden Guy, we can spread the ball out a little bit.
Absolutely, and obviously I thought last night too, a big key for winning the game was your special teams. You had a block punt by Trenton Tyler in the end zone, and Austin Moore recovered it, and those are big turning points in games.
Yeah, 2 block punts in a game. You think you're going to win. So that happened last night for us. Coach Holman does a great job with our special teams. He really makes us spend a lot of time. It's just, special teams is not one of the things that we just throw in practice and get in and get out. We spend time each day on at least two special teams. That's an area that we would like to win each and every. There's 3 phases of the game. Special teams is an area we would like to win each and every week, and we appreciate. I can't say enough about what Coach Holman does with special teams and how he game plans each and every week for them. He saw that on their punt team that he thought that we could expose them in that area, and we were fortunate to get 2 key punt blocks last night.
It was very obvious just watching the game. You had a really good support from the Blackman community last night. It looks like it was a packed house. They came out. They were really loud from the opening kickoff, and that's got to really feed your team as you're going forward.
Yeah, I can't say enough about our student section last night. I kind of heard, I usually don't hear things in the crowd, but as the game was going on and they were kind of getting some momentum back, I heard our student section getting in the game, and I think they don't realize how important they are.
Absolutely.
But as what they're doing and getting excited during the game, that gives the guys extra energy and motivation to finish the game. And I thought our crowd was outstanding last night. Can't say enough about Mr. Smith, Mr. Lawless, all they do to get the game and everything ready for the game for the entire community, so they can come out on Friday nights and enjoy the game.
And I was watching a little bit of your game last night, and it was also noticeable is having the support. I saw Coach Workman sitting right there on your sidelines right there for the entire game last night. And the coaches at Blackman High School they are close-knit. You can just tell that, and they pull for each other.
Well, I know I'll probably run into Coach Workman on Monday. We'll see what type of coaching grade he gives me. Probably won't be very good. He's pretty hard on me. But, but he's someone that I really like talking to, leaning on, asking questions. He's been great since I've been there. He's helped me with certain things and being able to talk to him and getting ideas and suggestions. Coaching's coaching, you know that. And, being able to talk to somebody that has done it and has won as much as him, and be able for him to give you feedback and ways to do things, ways to look at things different, man, he's been a great person to be around.
Yes, and one of the things we've been asking the coaches this week: did the heat this week take away from your normal routines? Did you have to go more morning practices or go inside some?
So we went Monday. We did a normal practice. Tuesday and Wednesday we went at 6. Got in before school, and I thought we had 2 really good practices. The only thing I was worried about was the heat, because it was cool. It did not get warm until towards the end of our practice. So we probably had a 20-minute time period where it was kind of warm. So that was concerning. But I thought the guys did well. If you look in the second half, if we don't get that punt on our punt return where we had a turnover where it hit one of our players, our defense was going to end up giving up only 7 points in the second half. That says a lot. Those guys came out and ready to play, and I thought they stayed on the field more than we wanted them to, but I think they handled it better this week than they did last week.
Absolutely. And I think, going back to it, your non-conference or non-region schedule is really going to prepare you for when you get into region play. You went up to Brentwood last week. You're up 14-3. It didn't turn out the way you wanted. You play a good Stewart's Creek team this week. Next week you got a real tough test at Ravenwood. Talk about your non-region games and how that's really going to help you going forward.
Yeah, week in and week out, we got a tough opponent. Brentwood's always 1 or 2 in that region. Stewart's Creek, they're tough, physical football team. Coach Cardell does a great job. I mean, it was a tough battle for past 2 weeks. We've been in tough battles for 4 quarters, and so hopefully that prepares us for the last 5 games that are the region games that are very important for us.
And I think, we talked a little bit about it. You would like to have put that game away and maybe not have been as close at the end. Do you think that's the growth you can see between now week 2 and week 3 when you go back and talk to your team about the film and going forward to next week?
So, as you play each week, we could have, on the schedule, you could easily have somebody that you beat, 40-0. But Stewart's Creek exposed us in other areas that we didn't see from Brentwood that we needed to fix this week. Playing tough teams week in and week out before you get into region play, that helps, areas of weakness, and you see things in your team that you need to improve and what you need to work on each week. We saw that, as a staff, we sit down and talked after the game. We talked about a few things and areas we need to improve on going into the Ravenwood game. Like you said earlier, we got Ravenwood next week. Coach Hester does an outstanding job. Can't say enough good things about Coach Hester. So it's going to be a challenge for us. They're one of the top teams in 6A, right up there with Oakland. So that we're trying to get to that point. And so for us to get to that point, we've got to continue to get better each week, and fine tune our areas of weakness.
Yeah, and last little thing right here, your defense, I thought that they're coming along too. Like they have the ability to play, to be fast and tackle, and I think that playing these different kind of teams is going to help you.
Yes, I can't say enough about our defensive line. Archie Roseman, he leads that group. Our linebackers, Ethan Carson, Rodney Irvin do a great job in secondary. We're fortunate we got Trey McGaffey back this week. Thought he had a good game. Just getting back in game shape will help him. Jalen Anderson is another DB that we got. We've got a core group of defensive guys that are highly intelligent, football IQ, and do an outstanding job for us.
Well, that's a lot to look forward to, and good win last night for the Blackman Blaze. This was head coach Matt Kriesky of the Blackman Blaze. The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they're needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day.
Here's your Little Caesar slices and sticks, half Italian cheese sticks, half pepperoni pizza.
It's the world's greatest combination.
Carl? How could you? Sorry, PB.